that was a little footage of one of the NFL's best young linebackers doing what he does best, Luke Kuechly of the Carolina Panthers. I am Gary Davenport, IDP Senior Staff Writer at Fantasy Sharks. This is the first in a series of IDP Spotlight videos for the 2014 season. Thought we might as well start at the beginning with my number one linebacker for this upcoming year. That would be the aforementioned Luke Kuechly of the Carolina Panthers. There's not a whole lot you can say about Kuechly that hasn't been said from the time that he entered the NFL after leading the Division I with 191 tackles in 2011 at Boston College. Went on to lead the NFL in tackles as a rookie with 164. NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year in 2012, Defensive Player of the Year in 2013, Pro Bowler, top 10 IDP, top 5 tackler, blah, blah, blah. I mean, if you take that stuff out, he really hasn't done a whole lot in the NFL so far. I mean, he's okay, I guess. So far as last year, in his second NFL season, Kuechly racked up 156 tackles, which was fourth in the NFL, 93 solos, 2 sacks, 4 interceptions, which tied for third among NFL linebackers, and 155.5 fantasy points, which was good for an 8th place finish in Fantasy Sharks default IDP scoring. Now that was down quite a bit from his rookie year, and he dropped under 100 solos. But I think there's a good enough reason to believe that 8th place finish toward the bottom of the top 10 is a lot closer to Kuechly's fantasy floor than his ceiling. For starters, the Panthers, partly because they had one of the NFL's best defenses last year, were 30th in tackle opportunities. That's third from the bottom. Not a lot of chances for your linebackers to rack up those tackle stats. There's a little reason to believe that number is going to regress a little bit toward the mean this season between some personnel losses on defense and, most importantly for the Panthers, the personnel losses on offense. I mean, you look at that wide receiver core, and Jericho Cotchery is now their number one wide receiver. That's not the kind of offense on paper that looks like it's going to sustain a lot of drives, which is going to mean the defense will be on the field more, which is going to mean more tackle opportunities for Kuechly. Not to mention Thomas Davis, one of the great stories in the NFL last year. But great story aside, he's 31 years old. He's had 3 ACL tears, closer to the end of the road than the beginning. You know, there's always a chance that he could get hurt again, which would mean a significant uptick in tackle opportunities for Kuechly. So far as the upcoming season for Kuechly, I have him ranked as a high-end linebacker one, my number one linebacker, as a matter of fact. I know there are some people that argue that there are guys like Lavonte David of the Buccaneers, maybe even a Darrell Washington of the Cardinals, if he can duck a suspension, that there are some other young linebackers who might have a higher ceiling than Kuechly. But I think that not only does Kuechly have that high 100 solo, top 5 IDP finish, no problem ceiling, there's also very little chance that he's going to finish outside the top 10 for you, which a lot of times, you know, there's something to be said for that consistency and for having that rock solid guy that's not going to disappoint as your IDP LB1. I don't have any problem with any IDP owner in any format drafting Kuechly to be that first fantasy linebacker, and I wouldn't bat an eye twice if he was the first IDP drafted overall.